Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming. My name is Hollow and today we're talking new From Software news because yes, I'm still on that copium train that we'll get some news and soon, but hey, for good reason. Currently, we still don't have any Elden Ring DLC announcements, reveals, teasers, anything official at all. But 1.08 did drop over 7 weeks ago, so there's potential for 1.09 right around the corner. Further, Bandai sent an important email following the Game Awards after Armored Core's reveal and the lack of Elden Ring DLC with that semi-apology in regards to all of that from Miyazaki himself. We had the email that was referring to Elden Ring winning Game of the Year and also told us to stay tuned in the coming days and weeks for there's going to be more Elden Ring news at last. Like I said though, that was over 7 weeks ago, so where's the news? Potentially, it's right around the corner. Not only that, but Armored Core, as I just mentioned, is the next upcoming release for From Software, announced at the Game Awards. That's a big one too. And we'd love to learn more about the details of that game. The gameplay, how will it compare to the older games? What does a current gen Armored Core even look like? That is something we also are likely to learn a lot about very soon, because at the start of February, Taipei Game Show will begin, and at said show there are 2 official sections for From Software that we're very interested in. One is for Armored Core and the other is for Elden Ring. The Taipei Game Show, also known as TGS, which is probably easier to refer to, that'll take place from February the 2nd to the 5th, featuring over 1,000 booths with 250 games on display as well as a load of other gaming related stuff. And importantly, many game producers will be at that event to show new content for the games in the form of new reveals, trailers, and even demos of unreleased games. In fact, it was at a show just like this where I first played Dark Souls 2 before it even released. It was this incredible demo to try the game at a convention called EGX, in which they'd made a unique level created out of sections of the full game, ending at the Mirror Knight, which was never actually a thing in the full game. They just created a new level for that event. We had the chance to win the game in a PlayStation as well, if you're the first person to beat the boss that day, and I managed to be the first in the second group who played the day I attempted it. The point of that reference though is to highlight how FromSoft have a history of being at these events and having a playable version of their games well before their full release, even creating unique content for that purpose. So, the Taipei Game Show, or TGS. First up, we have Armored Core, which you should be very excited for because we are going to get new information and possibly gameplay. You see, listed at the show is an hour-long slot for Armored Core 6, which already has a preloaded stream set up on the Bandai Namco YouTube channel. And in the description of that, translated from Chinese, it says that there is information the mercenaries want at this stream, referring to us, the players, us, the mercenaries. Also confirmed is the producer and marketer for this, Yasunori Ogura, who will appear at the showcase itself. Now, while we don't know the full details of this hour-long section and what's actually going to be in that, we know we are going to get some serious information one way or another. Full hour of info all about Armored Core 6. Could that be new footage or gameplay? Could it be a presentation filled with the big questions we'd like confirmed? The big topic in general for this game is, what will this game be like compared to the previous ones? Will it be more like the last entries or maybe more like the original games? FromSoft eventually gave us further details to make it clear that this is not a new Souls-like game. They're not changing that formula. It's classic Armored Core, which is exciting, but how will it stand up in current gen with what changes they will have to make? Miyazaki himself stated this: the direction of Armored Core 6 was to go back and take a look at the core concept of Armored Core. What made that series special? We wanted to take the assembly aspect, so customizing your own mech, and then being able to exact a high level of control over your own assembled mech. We wanted to take those 2 core concepts and re-examine those in a modern environment. So to me, that sounds like, yeah, the classic Armored Core, but updated to match the progression of gaming over the last decade. Because yeah, it's been 10 years since the last main release, and From Software has learned a lot. They've come massive leaps and bounds since then when it comes to developing games. I think it's undeniable that it's going to be different to match the current sort of climate of gaming, but also it's going to be inherently Armored Core. This event is very likely then to be the source of many of those answers, and again, considering the hour length, it might feature our first gameplay reveal. Thanks to that YouTube stream being pre-set up, we can actually see the Armored Core segment is to take place on February 3rd, which Twitch has the stream starting at 12, but likely there'll be a timer before it actually begins, which could be a very long time, like hours. So when we look at the Bandai Namco schedule, we can see via this poor translation that it'll happen at around 7 to 8 p.m, probably in that time zone though. Importantly, it even says 5v5 online exhibition match. Now, does that mean we'll not only see Armored Core 6 gameplay, but PvP in a live match? That would be an insane way to reveal it, but that is what it says right there in this admittedly poor translation, so we'll have to see. That's the Armored Core and its exciting segment talked about though, with all the promises and expectations at this point. What about Elden Ring? Well, it's Elden Ring that we had this specific email about, right? The promise of news to come in the following days and weeks after 1.08 had already dropped. Since then, we've had nothing, so TGS could be the place where we finally get that news. And obviously there's a chance, but I'm not sure how convinced I am. Specifically, Elden Ring had a segment at the show a year ago here at TGS, explaining many aspects of the game and drowning us in new information to get excited right before the release, including a lot of actual gameplay to look at. However, we appear to have, this time, some kind of arena-focused panel. Found on the event schedule for Bandai specifically. Again, there's a lot planned here, and as this is unfortunately a Chinese-only website, I'm dealing with Google Translate, and it's just, it's doing its best. Again, that Armored Core section listed at 7 to 8, it's called the Mobile Suit Gundam Mission 2, which is a hilarious, poor translation, but obviously it's Armored Core. As we mentioned earlier, it lines with everything else. That is Armored Core. But also, here's the, quote, Arena of Elden Ring segment, lasting also for 1 full hour. My concern is that it'll probably be more of a panel to showcase the latest patch and its content, the arena and some PvP featuring maybe some people at that event. It did list a few names, so maybe those are going to be people who are going to be playing or showing it. But I am praying they're going to be answering some questions and giving new information, maybe about the next patch or anything for the DLC, because again, they've done stuff for this at this event before. They've shown things before their full release, as I've explained earlier. But I'm not sure. There is some more hope, though, for you, since recently the Elden Ring Twitter account has actually started finally posting again, which is something they've done around new patches, new announcements, and updates previously. So that does suggest that something, news-wise is coming. It aligns with the coming week's timeline, and we have TGS right around the corner. So, again, there is hope. The question is, will it be at the TGS event or will it be after? Only time will tell, but I'm getting, honestly, a little bit frustrated myself with waiting and having the potential of information and then not getting it. We've had a lot of promises now, and it feels like something's gone wrong in terms of their timeline, and that's why maybe this is going on so long. We are now coming up to nearly a full year since Elden Ring's release at the end of February 2022. We're going into February 2023, and we don't even have an announcement or release date for Elden Ring's first DLC, which was planned to come sooner than this. Officially, the Colosseum update, 1.08, that's DLC 1. That's how the devs referred to it. From Software accidentally leaked the fact that, yeah, this is DLC 1 on a store page that they quickly removed after they did that. We know that things haven't gone to plan for some reason, and I guess they hope to tide us over, knowing that we'd be upset with the Game Awards' lack of announcement for Elden Ring. Again, Miyazaki apologizing about it at that event. I recently covered the topic of the boss rush mode, how that was previously in development for Elden Ring, but we've not heard anything about it since. And maybe in a patch like 1.09, we could get a PvE-focused update. So 1.08, the PvP update, 1.09, the PvE update, letting us replay specific fights without having to go all the way there again in New Game Plus or, doing online co-op or something. And also introducing new challenges, potential rewards, maybe small amounts of new content. After all, in patch 1.07, many new files were added to the game, which screamed some kind of PvE DLC preparation. There was a 30 plus potential new bosses in the files and a new legacy style dungeon map. It could be that that map is the boss rush mode. It could be that those 30 plus potential bosses are set up for the boss rush mode and what you would fight in there. So let me know your thoughts on all of this, what you think's likely based on the information we have now. At very least, we should be very excited for TGS, for From Software in general, and obviously for Armored Core 6 especially. But that's all the news I've got for you this time. Hope that was useful or interesting to you. If it was, then drop a like so I can keep making this type of content when, it's possible, when there's news. Until next time though, I've been Hollow, you've been you, thank you for watching, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.